Hey, can I tell you something? I know this might sound strange, but I think the job I took last month wasn't meant for normal people, and I didn't realize that until the third night. So a few weeks ago, I was looking for a night job. Nothing special, just something quiet. I like quiet places, less people, less noise, just me and my thoughts. Then I saw the listing. It said, night security, private museum, good pay, easy work, no visitors at night, just watch the cameras. Honestly, it sounded perfect. When I arrived for the interview, the place looked older than I expected. The building was huge, stone walls, tall windows, the kind of place that feels colder the moment you walk inside. The manager was already waiting for me. He was an older man, very calm, too calm. He didn't ask many questions. Actually, he only asked one. He said, "Are you comfortable being alone at night?" I told him yes. That was apparently the right answer, because he hired me immediately. But before I started my first shift, he gave me a piece of paper, just a single sheet. And he said, "Read this carefully. These are the night rules." I laughed a little. I thought he was joking, but he didn't laugh. Not even a little. When I got home that night, I read the list. At first, the rules seemed normal. Rule 1, lock the main entrance at midnight. Rule 2, do not allow anyone inside after closing. Rule 3, check all gallery doors every hour. Simple stuff. But then the rules started getting strange. Rule 4, if you see a person standing in the ancient art hallway after 2 a.m., do not approach them. There should be no one there. I remember staring at that line for a while. I thought maybe it was some kind of joke, but the rest of the list didn't feel like a joke. It felt serious. Rule 5, do not look directly at the painting titled "The Quiet Woman" for more than 10 seconds. If you do, leave the room immediately. Okay. At that point, I was a little confused, but I figured every workplace has weird traditions, right? So I ignored it. My first night shift was quiet. Too quiet. The museum looked completely different at night. The halls were darker. The shadows were longer. And every step echoed through the building. But nothing happened. Second night, still nothing. I started thinking the rule sheet was just some kind of prank. Until the third night. At around 2:13 a.m., one of the cameras flickered. It was the hallway with the ancient statues. I leaned closer to the screen because something felt wrong. At first, I couldn't see it. But then, I noticed a shape standing at the end of the hallway. A person, just standing there, perfectly still. My first thought was obvious. Someone broke in. So I grabbed my flashlight and I started walking toward that hallway. But halfway there, I suddenly remembered the list. Rule 4. If you see a person standing in the ancient art hallway after 2 a.m., do not approach them. I stopped walking, and for a moment, I just stood there, trying to decide if I should ignore it. Because rules like that are ridiculous, right? But something in my gut told me maybe I shouldn't. So instead of walking closer, I went back to the security room and I watched the camera. The person was still there, not moving, not breathing, just standing. Then suddenly, the camera flickered again, just for a second. And when the image came back, the hallway was empty. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. But a few minutes later, something else happened. Something much worse. Because the camera in the painting gallery turned on, and I saw something that made my stomach drop. Someone was standing in front of the painting. The one from the list. The quiet woman. But the strange part wasn't the person. The strange part was the painting. Because the woman inside it wasn't looking the same direction anymore. When I checked that painting earlier, her head was turned to the left. Now, she was looking straight at the camera, and the person standing in front of it slowly turned around and looked directly into the camera too. But the face I saw on the screen was mine. The problem is, I was still sitting in the security room, watching the monitor. And that's when the radio beside me crackled. The manager's voice came through. Calm, almost bored. He said, so you looked at the painting, didn't you? Then he sighed and said something I'll never forget. Don't worry, the museum always needs more exhibits. And the security camera behind me turned on, and on the screen I saw someone standing right behind my chair. If something felt familiar, it wasn't coincidence. It was recognition. Subscribe and walk softly into the dark